This deck won the KC Cup. Despite all the Phantom Knight decks and all the other decks that were in the top 100, this deck managed to beat them all and come in first place, despite Abyss Actor not having the best representation. So congratulations to first place duelist with this. Abyss Actor, this deck has a few neat tricks. The most important card of this deck, though, is definitely the Mellow Madonna. Being able to pay 1,000 life points to search your deck for anything you need, any other Abyss Actor you need to get your combos going is extremely important. It also helps trigger your skill, Sealed Tombs. That's another huge part of this deck's success. Phantom Knights was the most popular deck in the top 100 of the KC Cup, and Sealed Tombs completely shuts it down. Your opponent, you pay after you've paid 1,000 life points, you're at 3,000 or less, you can lock your opponent out of being able to banish cards from the graveyard or special summon monsters out of the graveyard. And that really hurts Phantom Knights in a few ways. They can't banish their monsters. They also can't use the effect of Break Sword to bring their stuff back from the grave. And there's a lot of other decks now, even like Teller Knights, which are trying to bring things out of the graveyard constantly, and several other decks that are being affected by the skill. So this is an extremely powerful skill in the metagame right now, Sealed Tombs, and Mellow Madonna allows us to very consistently activate it turn 1. Now, as with a lot of the other players, we're not running the Sky Iris version of the deck, so Mellow Madonna is our main way to search for things, but we do have another way to get her, and that is the Abyss Actor Wild Hope. Now, Abyss Actor Wild Hope, when main effect that we care about is when this thing is destroyed, sent to the grave, or when it's destroyed, or by battle rather, doesn't go to the grave because your extra deck, right? You gotta search your deck for an Abyss Actor monster, so you can search your deck for the Mellow Madonna that way. It does have another effect, though, in your Pendulum Zone, where you can make your other Pen monster a scale 9, and that'll allow you to Pendulum summon Abyss Actor monster to the field. It does lock in the Abyss Actor, so you won't be able to summon the Eccentric. We do have another defensive card too. That's another great turn 1 play, is your Abyss Actor Sassy Rookie. Sassy Rookie once per turn cannot be destroyed, or the first time it would be destroyed, it's not. That goes by battle or by card effect. So if you're able to get this out turn 1, your opponent basically has to find a way to destroy this card twice or remove it by other means. Otherwise, they're going to have to get through it twice. Then you can summon the Wild Hope, and the Wild Hope can then search your deck for the Mellow Madonna. So it provides a lot of protection. If you're going first, that's going to be your main play, is trying to get a Sassy Rookie out to the board. Ideally, you want to get a couple monsters out to protect yourself. You see we don't have a whole lot of back row in this deck, just one of a couple here, so of a couple things here. So getting Sassy Rookie out turn 1 is a pretty big deal. We really want to get Mellow Madonna in our hand turn 1 to be able to search our deck and start, getting everything that we need turn by turn. But you really want to be able to turn 1 if you have to Mellow Madonna, get out the Sassy Rookie. You can then do Sealed Tombs and lock your opponent out of their graveyard plays. So other Abyss Actors in the deck, we have the one, a Funky Comedian. The main thing here is that it's a scale 8. It does have a couple of effects that we can use besides that, like tributing Abyss Actors to give another one attack points. That can let you jump over pesky monsters, or allow you to give like Sassy Rookie a big attack to OTK your opponent, and your opponent can't destroy this card once per turn, so maybe that might be the thing that actually saves it and allows it to push through and win the game in certain situations. So this has some use there. Also, we have the one of Abyss Actor Superstar. This card is amazing when you get out to the field. It's 2,500 attack points, allows it to OTK with any of your other Abyss Actors, dealing over 4,000 damage. But also, you can set from your deck directly an Abyss Script spell card, which here we're running 2 of Rise of the Abyss King. Target face-up cards in the field up to the number of attack position Abyss Actor monsters with different names you control, and destroy them. So your opponent, you got to blow up 2-3 cards your opponent controls this a lot of the time. It lets you clear out their board pretty easily to go for OTKs. That's really where a lot of the power of this deck comes from, being able to just quickly swarm your field. You got all these sort of protective monsters that your opponent has trouble getting through. You can quickly pen summon numerous monsters to your board, and then use the Abyss Script to take out everything face up on their field and swing through for game. We have a lot of things that take out their back row too to allow this to happen easier. 3 MST as well as 2 Archfiend Eccentric. A huge problem this deck has is getting hit by Cosmic Cyclone or MST. Going first, obviously, you don't have to worry about that. You can make all your plays and get your Mellow Madonna out, search your deck turn 1. But beyond that, if your opponent has MST or Cosmic Cyclone going first, they're going to set it, and you're going to have to deal with them taking out your back row. So we have 5 ways in here. 1 out of every 4 cards in the deck is just designed to take out our opponent's back row so we can push through, get our Mellow Madonna off. And Archfiend Eccentric does have some bonus effects in here, being a Pendulum monster. It's a scale 7, so we can use the Pendulum summon things to the field, but also it itself can be Pendulum summoned back. Of course, you won't be able to if you activate Mellow Madonna's effect on a turn, because it locks you into Abyss Actors, but nonetheless, so there are definitely times where you will be able to pen summon this to the field, use its Exiled Force effect to take out a monster, and then proceed with your plays. So beyond that, I mentioned there's not too much other protection or other back row cards in the deck. We do have 1 Forbidden Chalice in here, 1 Storm, and 1 Treacherous Trap Hole. Not too many room for back row support cards, so you're really going to be relying on getting out your defensive monsters turn 1, Wild Hope and Sassy Rookie to try to survive. Getting into the extra deck, you don't really use your extra deck too often, but occasionally you go on a couple things like the Malevolent Sin and Utopias. But we do have 1 Abyss Dweller, one Utopia Ray and normal Utopia, one Gaia Dragon, one Malevolent Sin, one Diamond Dire Wolf, and the one Digital Bug Corbage to go into the Gaia Dragon. Again, you're not using your extra deck too much, but it does come in play here and there. Again, a huge thing with this deck though is the Sealed Tombs. I actually don't have Sealed Tombs, unfortunately, so instead I'm going to be using Destiny Draw and some of the gameplay footage. If I did have Sealed Tombs, I would have won several more games that I ended up losing. The skill is definitely incredibly powerful right now with so many decks using the graveyard like Phantom Knights and other things like Satellar Knights that it hits. But nonetheless, OD Draw is a nice substitute if you don't have Sealed Tombs right now. And as the metagame evolves, Destiny Draw may become the skill of choice again, as it was when this deck first came out. So we'll see as time goes on. There are other skills you can use with the deck too. I think those are the two that are seeing by far and away the most play right now. Especially with the metagame being what it is. So, anyways, that's it. Again, I have a few gameplay videos coming up. We'll probably have more once I do get Sealed Tombs unlocked with this deck. Maybe I'll do another video. Because, yeah, I definitely would have won quite a few more games if we had Sealed Tombs unlocked and could have showcased that. But, nonetheless, we do have a couple gameplays here showing what the deck does well and some of the problems the deck can have too. Given the lack of back row support cards. Anyways, if you guys liked the video, please be sure to like and subscribe. It helps us out. And thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Okay, so turn 1, we got our Melbadon in hand. It's going to let us search for whatever we want. We're going to get the Funky Comedian so that we have our Pendulum summon plays right off the bat here. We can go ahead and bring out both of our monsters, Wild Hope and the Sassy Rookie, to the field. Give us some defense. I put the Sassy Rookie in face-up defense position instead of face-down, because if our opponent has something like a TTH or whatever, or anything to destroy this card while it's face-down, it won't get its protection effect. It obviously only gets it if it's face-up on the board, so pen summoning the board face-up attack was nice. And now we have 2 monsters to protect ourselves going through. And if our opponent destroys the Abyss Script, it's going to trigger its second effect. When this thing is destroyed while you have a face-up Abyss Actor in your pen zone, you get to search your deck for 2 Abyss Actor monsters or Abyss Script cards, so you can replace this up, get another Abyss Actor card. Really powerful. We're playing Triamids here, so our opponent's going second here. Go ahead and be putting a few things in the graveyard. Got to worry about him filling up the grave for pulse. Actually, main decking Light Imprisonment here. Interesting. Must be running into a lot of Tower Knight players right now. The deck haven't recently come out. Summoning all of his things to the board. Main thing is we just need to survive, right? So in his turn, he'll be able to do all the swapping out plays, as he's starting to do here. I'm not sure. You'll see in a second. I don't know if he misplayed or what, or I don't know. I don't. Trimids are not the deck that I know the best. It's not a deck that I spend a lot of time with. It's one that I plan on learning in the future. Nonetheless, I thought it was pretty interesting that I decided to summon the Trimid Sphinx here instead of waiting for me to destroy, because that's going to let us take it out. So we summon 3 cards to the field, activate our Abyss Script. Now, his field spell is going to protect his monsters from destruction effects, so we just have to take it out first. But once it's gone, it's off the board. He didn't bother to swap it out at all. So now we can search our deck for another Abyss Script with the Superstar, set it, activate it, because this is not a once per turn effect. Now we get to wipe out his board, destroy all 3 of his monsters. He doesn't have another Sphinx in hand. We can swing for game. Again, I don't know why he summoned the Sphinx there instead of just holding it in hand till one of his monsters got destroyed. I don't know Trimids really well. I've never really seen players doing that, but whatever, allowed us to very easily just wipe out his board and swing for a game. But that's basically what you really want to do with this deck, right? So if you go turn 1, you got to put out those defensive monsters, survive, and then try to OTK your opponent in the following terms with your Pendulum summons, with your big plays, bring out the Superstar, use the Abyss Script to clear out the board. That's just the basics of what you want to do with this deck. Alright, so this one kind of showcases the problems that this deck has going first. So the big issue, of course, is that we just don't have a lot of protection with this deck. We have Sassy Rookie, which can, has its one little protection effect, but beyond that, we don't really have a lot. We have 1 TTH, 1 Chalice, so the best we can do is just set bluff cards, MST and Rise of the Abyss King, and our opponent here is just very easily going to be able to go in the Break Sword, go for our back row card here, and we have no protection left over. So he's completely free to summon whenever he wants. So he can go into his Malevolent Sin very easily here. Malevolent Sin's going to clear out our Sassy Rookie, so he has a non-destruction way to get rid of this off the board, so we can't save itself or bring out our other Abyss Actor. Then he can swing for 24. The trap card's going to let him summon his Phantom Knight from the grave and easily just OTK us, and there's just nothing we can do to shut this down. Now, if we had Sealed Tombs, the skill, we could have locked them out of being able to do this. So this is why Sealed Tombs is such a good skill right now, because there's so many decks like Phantom Knights that it shuts out. But without that skill, we can't do anything. Now, of course, there's plenty of other decks that very easily could OTK us right now in the same situation. without the need to use their graveyard the way that this deck does. Harpy Ladies are one of those decks. There's another replay I could show for, I'm think I'm going to, but absolutely just destroys this deck. Harpy Ladies absolutely just destroys Abyss Actors, but this deck does not have a lot of great protection going first on turn 1. You're really relying on Sassy Rookie and its skill to protect you, trying to get out a couple different Abyss Actors monsters to play defense with. Otherwise, you're going to be getting OTK'd by decks very quickly, going with them going second if you don't have Sealed Tombs to help lock them out. Okay, so going second, again, that's what we want to do. You want to go second, just quick OTK your opponent. We got a ton of Pendulum monsters here, so as long as our opponent doesn't have any back row, we're in good shape, and we're playing against a Dark Magician deck that didn't draw any back row, which is always a good sign. We don't need to use our graveyard at all, and so Kaiku has no effect on us, so we can just use Mellow Madonna, search our deck for the Superstar. We have the Funky Comedian hand. Boom, we can easily just pen summon 3 different monsters from our hands. And our opponent is just in big trouble at this point, because we can also search for Abyss Script, clean out his board, just like we did in that replay earlier. And he already knows what this card does, so destroy all his monsters, swing for game, real easy.